So if you're anything like me, you struggle with responding to email. It's an amazing tool. It's pretty cool that anyone in the world can email you from anywhere in the world at any time of the day. And there's no stamps, there's no paper, anything like that. The downside to it is that anyone in the world can write you at any time of the day. I also know that I'm not the only one that has struggled with boundaries during the pandemic. And it makes a lot of sense when work and home lives are kind of happening in the same space. It's really hard to turn one mode off and switch the other one on. And so that's why I put together a script that I am calling the poorly named Gmail Work Hour Fire. And the idea is that when you get an email outside of work hours, a robot sends an automated message that says you're not responding to emails at that time. It also tells the person who is sending the message that I'm not going to respond right away. So if it is something that is kind of time sensitive that someone else can handle, to possibly contact another person or think about whether it truly is something that needs to be dealt with right then. I can still check the message if I want, but I have the freedom, I feel permission to think about it, to wait, and really put together the right response and respond when I'm ready. And so in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get it to work, how to install it. I'm going to focus on just those steps of getting started with it. And so people who may not care much about the code, who just want to try to use some of the features, will be able to use it. And then after that, I'll dig into a little bit of the detail of the code and talk about how it works so that you can customize it for yourself. Before we get into that, I do want to acknowledge some of the sources of the code that I used in putting my solution together. So those are in the description. So the first thing you'll need to do is click on the first link in the description below this video, and that will take you to a page that looks a lot like this. And so this is the code that you're going to be using. You just want to have that ready. The other thing that you're going to do, you can make in a new tab. You can go to script.google.com. I have a bunch of projects here, and so I'm going to create a new project. And while that loads, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to select all of the code. I'm going to go to my new project, clear that out, and I'm going to paste all of that in there. I'm going to rename this Work Hour Auto Reply, or Work Hour Fire, whatever, and put that there. Now, there's some settings that we need to put in here. The first thing that I'm going to do is you want to put in your days off. And we can see here Monday is 1, Sunday is 0, Saturday is 6. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You want to put in the days that are off. And so I have this as 0 and 6 for Sunday and Saturday. Weekday message days, this is the rest of the days. You could put in any of these days into the days off if you want. I'm just assuming the basic setup where you work on Monday through Friday, and then Saturday to Sunday you're off. These are the working hours. So this is currently set to 8 to 5 with 24-hour time, 8 to 17. These are the three messages. You'll notice a couple things. I've included in these messages a little line that says this is a robot, this is an auto response, just so the person knows this is an automated response. And then I have three different messages because I wanted to say slightly different things during the week, on Friday and Saturday, and then also Sunday morning. So if you look at the end, you can sort of see the differences between those. You can just leave all of that the way it is. You can scroll down. Now I have this as myworkemail.com. I am checking to see if a particular unread message is from an email domain. And I would recommend that you put this as your work email domain. Now a couple of things. The email domain is the part of the email address that comes after the @ So if it was eweinberg@gmail.com, the domain is just gmail.com. So I'm going to change this to gmail.com. You can move that to your work email domain if you want. The reason I did this was that I was finding in testing this that I was sending my auto reply when I was getting to newsletters and other things that I had signed up with, and I don't need to send the auto reply to those. It's more about trying to make sure that the people from work understand that I'm not responding to a message. If you don't want to use this feature, if you want to send the auto reply to everybody, make it so that there are 3 slashes next to the email address, and then just put a 1. I'm going to hit save, and I'm now going to hit run. Now, it's not going to run as is, and there are a few reasons for that we'll talk about when it happens. Now, this script is going to be going through your email and checking to see which messages have come in the last X number of minutes. And so you need to give the script permission to do that. And it's a good thing that Gmail is telling you this script is asking to do some powerful things. So we're going to hit review permissions. I'm going to choose my Google account. And you get this warning. And it's saying this developer is not necessarily trusted, so maybe you don't want to give them permission to do anything to your email. But the developer is you. You are the one who is coding this right now. Or I guess it's me if you think about me as the writer of this code. But if you don't trust me, don't run the code. It's that simple. So I'm going to go to work hour auto reply. And now it's giving me another warning message. This will allow this script to read, compose, send, and permanently delete all your email from Gmail. Again, that's a lot of power. Do you trust it? Again, open to you. I'm going to hit allow. Okay, great. And I'm going to hit run. And so the fact that the code runs just means that there are no errors. It doesn't necessarily mean we have it doing what we want it to do. So we're going to do a quick test. I'm going to, just to make sure things are working, I'm going to change the working hours to be, I'm going to say that I work from 8 to 3, which would be 8 to 15. I'm going to hit save again, but now I'm going to set up the trigger that's going to make it so that this code runs automatically every 5 minutes so that you don't have to do anything to make it work. So I'm going to go to the triggers. I'm going to hit add trigger. I'm going to select time driven. Change this to minutes timer, and I'm going to set this to every 5 minutes, and that 5 matches the 5 that's in the code. And I'll hit save. And so now this is automatically going to run that code every 5 minutes, and if an email is received in the past 5 minutes and it's unread and it's from gmail.com, it's going to automatically send a response. Now I've added an email in here to make it so that we have something to actually show that it works. And so I'll just show you that real quick. Here is my auto response, and it is Monday. Here is the response automatically sent by my script. And that's it. It's working. I'm going to go back to the code and change this to actual work hours. I'll make this 8 to 17. And make sure anytime you change something, you hit save. And that's it. And so if you followed up to this point, this code should be working for you. If it's not, feel free to contact me on Twitter, and I'll hopefully help you out. I'm going to keep this code here automatically updated if there are any mistakes, if you do find something, so that even if it doesn't exactly match the video, it'll match this code that you paste in will work for you. So now I'll quickly talk about how this code works. If you're interested in the code details, stick around. If not, I hope this works for you. Good luck. Have some fun. So real quick, this information right here, we get the date, we get the day, we get the hour. I use a simple JavaScript statement to see if something is a workday. And days off is an array, and so if the index of the day, which is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, is in that array, if the current day is not in the days off array, that means it is not a day off, therefore it's a workday. Outside hours, I'm just checking to see if the hour, if the time is before the first entry here before the start of work hours or after or equal to the end of work hours. So that's that. And so I'm just defining a variable to say send the auto reply if it is not a work day or if it is currently outside the hours. And then this is where I'm setting up some of the special logic because I want to send some different messages based on when this is happening. If the day is 5, meaning it's Friday, and it is after working hours, so it's Friday night, I want to send the weekend message because on Friday night, I'm going to be sending the message that I'm not going to get back to you until Monday. If the day is 1, meaning it's Monday, and the current hour is before we've started work, that means it's early Monday morning, I don't want to say that I'm going to get back to you tomorrow, so I actually have this special Monday message to check that. Otherwise, so this means that it is a weekday, we're just going to send a weekday message. And if it is not a weekday, we're going to send the weekend message, which is pretty straightforward. I've been very impressed with a lot of this code is directly from that example from Stack Overflow that I posted in the code. Pretty cool. You're just trying to figure out the time when you want to start looking for unread messages. So this right now is 5. So this is basically saying if there's a message from 5 minutes from now to 5 minutes from before, get all the threads that are in the inbox after that time. And for each thread that's in the mailbox, if it's unread, this sender email gets this gets the domain of the sender of a specific email, the first email in that thread. So the 0 is the first index of that, the first message in that thread. I split it at the @ to try to get the domain, and I just take the first part of it to get the domain. And then all I'm doing is I'm using a regular expression to test to see if the email domain contains the domain that we're looking for. And that's it. And if that's true, if it's from the domain we're checking for, reply and send the sent message variable, which I just set to those 3 things earlier. So that's it. Not a super detailed explanation. But this was a lot of fun and a real practical way to use some JavaScript to improve my work-life balance. So thanks for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time.